About the shove, that moment that happened on stage.
Now, I'm turning on right now.
Right? Yeah. Did it make you want to go harder for the 13?
I don't know, but made me feel more psyched.
About the shove. That moment that happened on stage, I'm turning on right now. Right? Yeah. Did it make you want to go harder for the 13? I don't know. Maybe few more. Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez were added earlier after an unexpected clash at the gym. A surprise visit from Canelo Alvarez led into a clash that became very heated and violent, ending in a massive brawl. One interesting outcome of the whole thing is that Terence Crawford was unfazed by Alvarez's attack. At 37 and nearing the twilight of a remarkable career, the two-weight undisputed champion isn't just chasing belts, he's chasing legacy. In your view, Terence Crawford beats Canelo. He cooks Canelo. Really? He beats him. Yes. Look, if you go back and you watch the fight with Lara, and you can see the same tendencies that Canelo has now, but he's a lot older now. But I just think that Terence have more skills than Lara, and I think he can do more. And to him, nothing would define it better than defeating the biggest name in boxing. At first, the fight felt like a long shot. Canelo kept brushing it off, showing little interest, but then one man changed everything and turned the impossible into a reality. And the same man is set to become only the third man to defeat Canelo Alvarez. GA Chairman Turki Alalshik signed Canelo for a 4-fight deal, kicking off the contract with the Williams Skull fight. Now Canelo is set to face Crawford on September 13th at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas live on Netflix. I don't respect him anymore because he say I'm not going to do what they want me to do and this and that. Then he tried to maybe Tarashi told him, hey, you need to do something because you seem so nervous in the inn in Riyadh. So he tried to he walking me back and that's why I pushed him. Although the reported purse is $200 million, allocating $150 million for Canelo and $50 million for Crawford. Bud told ring champs with AK and Barack that he is only making $10 million from the fight. This revelation sparked speculation that Crawford might be stepping into the ring with Canelo primarily for the paycheck. However, boxing insider Rick Glazer doesn't seem to think so as he revealed the real motive behind Crawford's decision to climb several weight classes to fight Canelo. I know it's hard for some of you to fathom, Glazer wrote on X, but Terence Crawford is fighting Canelo for one reason and one reason only. It's about legacy. He addressed the speculations about Crawford's intentions to make big money before hanging up the gloves, noting, Crawford wants to be everything a fighter is supposed to be in boxing, and that is about legacy through challenging himself. Glazer concluded by writing, Terence Crawford is going for all the gusto. While other fighters in this era talk big, they avoid the biggest challenges. If he's able to be aggressive, not be affected by Bud's punches and just keep, attacking, and imposing that will on him. And then Bud being the dog that he is and, just saying, you know what, I'm gonna go. I'm letting loose. Yeah. Off-board is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous, but could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire. It's in his mind. It's in his makeup where he came from. If he wins, Crawford will become the first 3-weight undisputed champion of the 4-belt era, having previously unified all the belts in the super lightweight and welterweight divisions. Regardless, during his conversation with O and Barack, Crawford seemed to echo Glaser's take on the fight, noting, I'm doing it for the opportunity, baby. The legacy, he said. The legacy outweighs the money. 3-time undisputed UI coming soon. Crawford's intentions for the fight aside, can he realistically beat Canelo Alvarez? Clearly the heavier man. Interestingly, Aris Landila has offered key advice for Crawford that could tilt the fight in his favor. The Cuban boxer who gave Canelo one of the toughest fights of his career in 2014 suggests that movement will be key in Crawford's victory. And you're saying that, oh, Canelo is a super strong guy. Man, technique. You already know if you ever wrestled before. the person that got better technique usually win. It don't matter how much the weight they have or what they carrying around. It's the technique. Crawford knows how to take care of himself on the inside. He knows how to smother. He knows how to tie up. He knows how to rough guys up. He knows how to turn guys. A win over Saul Canelo Alvarez is monumental and would be the third undisputed title of the American's career if he could pull off the feat. A former rival of Canelo Alvarez, Cuban fighter heiress Lara, shared a tactical insight that could be key for Terence Crawford to achieve a historic victory on September 13th in Las Vegas. Lara, who faced Canelo in 2014 and lost by split decision, believes the American has a good chance if he avoids certain mistakes that he himself made. Lara has been clear. To be successful against Canelo, Crawford must keep moving and avoid letting the Mexican hit him in the arms. He's tremendous, but could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire. It's in his mind. It's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moving up in weight class. Can he carry it? But those intangibles. However, he also admitted that his defensive style was too passive, which allowed the judges to favor Alvarez, who was more aggressive and landed the heavier blows. The key, according to Lara, is not to allow Canelo to impose his physical power, especially in the early rounds. Crawford, known for his technical skill and ability to switch stances, could replicate Lara's approach, but with greater dynamism and precision. Although Lara believes the strategy can work, he also warns that he must not fall into the same overcautiousness that hurt him in 2014. On that occasion, his Tom and Jerry style, as some critics call it, was seen as evasive and unattractive to the public and the judges. If Crawford opts to run too much, he could lose valuable points and the favor of the public at the Allegiant Stadium. I think that can change the effect on Bud, and I think that will be the way that Alvarez can win that fight. Yeah. Good. Yeah. So what do you think? Obviously, if Bud remains slick, what outside of that could cause Canelo to lose it? Las Vegas does not forgive fights without action. And with a purse of $50 million at stake, Crawford cannot afford to disappoint. Turki Alalshik, the event's promoter, has built the fight as the fight of the century, which adds pressure for both boxers to put on a memorable show. Lara also mentioned that his style was similar to the one William Skull used against Canelo recently, and that it also did not work. On both occasions, the Mexican managed to impose his rhythm and connect the most significant blows. That's why mobility must be accompanied by offense, something Crawford will have to balance if he is to have a real chance. It's a 50-50 fight, said Lara, acknowledging the current strength of Canelo, but also the tactical intelligence of Crawford. The American will have to prove that he can withstand the Mexican's power over 12 rounds without losing effectiveness or initiative. After 7 rounds, he starts to fade a little bit. We've seen that with Bivo. We've seen it in a lot of his fights with Triple G. When Canelo can control the fight in the ring generalship, he can fight 12 rounds pretty good. But when Canelo gets pushed early on in the fight, he starts to fade muscle endurance-wise. Eris Landera's advice to Terence Crawford is clear. Move, avoid arm punches, and not repeat the mistake of being too defensive. If he manages to combine mobility with aggressiveness, he has a good chance of beating Canelo Alvarez in one of the most anticipated fights of the year. Advised by a former Canelo opponent to focus on his legs, the Omaha fighter will need to make the 2 weight divisions jump comfortably to maintain his speed and slick movements. Crawford may not have to worry too much about the advantage Alvarez has in the weight department because of a certain attribute. Chris Algier, the former WBO super lightweight champion, has been a huge fan of Bud for his 41-fight career, and he knows exactly what makes him different from the Mexican. Bud is one of those guys he just locks in. He just locks in, especially when you doubt him. So yeah, it's a really interesting matchup. I think of it more from psychological than anything, because on paper it's but he's super middleweight. He went up 3. Now, Terence is going up 3 weight classes. He had a little trouble with Majima. So on paper it's of course it's Canelo, but when you think about it from a psychological standpoint, it's I don't know, man. He understand weight distribution, man. Not only that, the only way that I see Canelo beating Crawford is he got to knock him out. And when was the last time we seen Canelo knock anybody out? Think about that. If Golovkin, who hits a lot harder than Crawford, could not drop or hurt Canelo. Speaking to Fight Hub TV, Algieri held back on a full prediction for the bout, but offered up an interesting piece of analysis. We are still pretty far away from that fight. I'm going to hold my complete analysis on the fight, but I will tell you this. I've seen Canelo pushed around. I've never seen Terence pushed around. So, when you talk about who is going to be the boss, I've never seen anyone boss Terence Crawford around, but I have seen Canelo get bossed. And that's all for now.